everyone, my name is Alexis and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you've never been here before. Hi, my name is Alexis, nice to meet you. I know that I haven't posted in a while and I know that this isn't that creative of a video, but I've really been wanting to do this for a really long time, and now I am at the point where I think that my record collection is like strong enough that I want to show an audience of people. So that's what we are doing today. First thing that I want to say before I get started is I'm going to be using the words record, vinyl, and what's the album interchangeably. I don't really know what the correct use is, and I'm sorry if that offends you. I know that some people get a little weird about that. These are in no particular order except for the fact that I'm going to show you all of the records that I own that are pressed on black, and then I'm going to show you my colored records in the second portion of this video. And the third thing is, with each album I'm going to be going through and saying what my favorite songs off the album are, or like the reason that I got the album or something like that, the reason behind it. So without further ado, let's get started. First album that I have in my pile is Amy Winehouse's Back to Black. I feel like everyone knows a lot of the songs off of this, and my favorite song off of this is Back to Black, which is kind of basic, but that's what it is and I can't help it. The next album that I have is John Mayer's The Search for Everything. My brother got me this one for my birthday, so thank you, Dylan. My favorite song off of this album is In the Blood or You're Gonna Live Forever in Me. Both of those just really good jams that you should look them up if you haven't. The next album I have is Harry Styles' self-titled album, his first album that came out after One Direction. My favorite songs off of this album are Kiwi and Woman, both very good, both very not One Direction. The next is my favorite member from One Direction, Niall. I love every song on this album. He was my favorite member. I feel like maybe I have some bias, but if you are looking to listen to a few songs off of this album, I would choose Seeing Blind or Flicker. The next album that I own is Lana Del Rey's Paradise. Lana Del Rey was like someone that I listened to in high school. Allie and Amina really got me into her. So this is an album that reminds me of high school. Specifically, I love the songs Cola and Gods and Monsters. Both very good songs. Both songs that when I hear them, I'm like, oh, I used to be so young and free and naive. The next album I have is Adele's 21. I love a lot of the songs on this album, but if I'm being honest, the reason that I bought this album is because the song Someone Like You, turning it real far up, laying on the ground, and singing along to Someone Like You. The next album that I have is the Lumineers' first album, self-titled The Lumineers. This, fun fact, was one of the first bands that I ever saw live, that I remember that I actually really wanted to go to. It was my sophomore year of high school. This album was the album they were touring, so it's kind of like a cool album for me, getting into music wise. This one is one that's, I literally love every song on the album, and it's hard for me to choose just one. If I had to choose a few, I would say Flowers in Your Hair, Dead Sea, and Stubborn Love. The next album is also by the Lumineers. This came out a few years later. I also saw them live when they toured this album, and my favorite song off of this album is Gale Song for sure. The next album that I have is Imagine Dragons' Evolve, their most recent release. Honestly, I saw this in a record store. I only know Believer and what's their most popular, Thunder, but I saw it, I had some money, I had a gift card, and I was like, okay, I'll buy it. The next album that I have is Mumford Sons' Sigh No More. If I had to choose an album that described my freshman year of high school, it would be this album. The next album that I own is Vampire Weekend's Modern Vampires of the City. This is another band like the Lumineers. I saw them live. They were like one of my first bands that I ever actually wanted to go see. My favorite songs off of this album are Diane Young and Yahe. The next album that I own is Divide by Ed Sheeran. This is his most recent album, deluxe version, so this is not on the not deluxe version, but it are Barcelona, which is the one that's not on the deluxe version, and then Supermarket Flowers. If you haven't heard it, listen to it and listen to the lyrics. And then on the opposite end of that is Barcelona, which is like a song that like really gets you going. It's got that like Spanish vibe. It's For Emma Forever Go by Bon Iver. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. If I am not, then come kick me right in the face. Please do it. Like the Adele album, I bought this album for one song and one song only, and that is Skinny Love. Other than that, I love the song For Emma on this album as well. The next album is Coldplay's A Rush of Blood to the Head. I actually haven't opened this album. Haven't had the need to open it because like a few of the other albums I've mentioned, I bought this one for the song The Scientist. The next album is one of my most recent purchases, and that is The Killer's Hot Fuss album. This was like a very popular album, and if these play in a bar now, everyone loses their minds. So that is why I purchased this album. I love listening to this album in the car, and now I love listening to it on my record player. Okay, the next album, then the last album pressed on black that I have is Talking Is Hard by Walk the Moon. I went to see them live, and now I'm obsessed. And the song Aquaman, I physically cannot stop listening to. I tweeted about it. It is my favorite song right now. The first colored vinyls that I'm going to show you are my Bleachers albums that I own, and I own Gone Now, Strange Desire, their two main albums, and then I own the single version that they released of I Wanna Get Better. Bleachers is a band that I really got into after I went to Columbus, Ohio this summer. A ton of my friends from there are really into that band. One of my friends from there, it's his favorite band, and he got me into them, and now I love them, and it's cool and great and awesome. So the first one that I'm gonna show you is the I Wanna Get Better single release, and it has on one side I Wanna Get Better, and then on the other side the Vince Clarke remix version of it, and it's pressed on like a transparent blue. The next is Gone Now, and it is pressed on white with like reddish marble going through it. Nothing Is You, Everybody Lost Somebody, All My Heroes are my favorites probably, but like they change all the time, so but those are, yeah, that's a good list. And then Strange Desire, which was the first release from Bleachers. If I had to choose, I would say Wild Heart, I Wanna Get Better, and Shadow are my favorite songs off of this album. The next record that I own goes along with my theme of buying songs because you want to be sad on the ground in your living room. And this is Modern Baseball's You're Gonna Miss It All. And my favorite song off of this album is Your Graduation. This one is pressed on yellow. It's a different yellow. I don't know how I feel about the color yellow. 5 out of 10 on the color yellow. The next album that I have is What If Nothing by Walk the Moon, their most recent release, and by far my favorite song off this album is Surrender. The first one is pressed on purple, and it's like a really cool purple that's like nice and awesome and dope and like swirly. Other side, C and D are on just white, and it's just a plain white, and they look cool together. Oh, here we are at one of my favorite albums to ever be released, and that is Vessel by 21 Pilots. This is pressed on transparent, clear. 21 Pilots is my favorite band. This is my favorite album by them, so it's gonna be hard for me to choose a favorite, but I will choose the song that got me into 21 Pilots, and that was Migraine off of this album. The next album is Lala Land, and that is pressed on a dark blue pressing. I'm not gonna take it all the way out. I like this to do homework to because it's like a good background music, so I sometimes put this on if I am home alone doing homework. The next album that I have is Fall Out Boy's Mania. Off of this album, Wilson, parentheses, Expensive Mistakes is my favorite one. It is pressed on this like dark purple, which I like, and it has, I don't know if you can see it, but it has like reddish little tints throughout, and it's really cool looking. The next album that I have is Shawn Mendes's most recent album, Illuminate. I became a fan of Shawn Mendes because I was up late in Pennsylvania and I was on Tumblr and I saw a video of Shawn Mendes's dad surprising him, and he's like, "Dad, oh my god," and it's the cutest thing that I had ever seen up until that point, and I was like, from then on I was like, I'm his fan. I ordered this that night, and I really like this color that it is pressed on. I have no other albums pressed on it. My favorite songs off this album are Lights On and Ruin. Both bangers. The next one that I have is All Time Low's Don't Panic. It's longer now version. It is pressed on this red and white pressing. I really like it, but I do feel a little bit like it looks like vomit. My favorite songs off this album are The Irony of Choking on a Lifesaver and Backseat Serenade. I really love this band. They are dope. Gotta stop saying dope, but that's what they are. The next one is an album that I got for my birthday from my parents. It is Bob Marley's, like the best of Bob Marley. Every song on side A and B, there's 4, A, B, C, D. Every song inside A and B were songs that my parents played in the house when I was younger, so I know all of them. I also feel like a lot of people just know all of his songs. It is pressed on the Rasta colors, which is pretty cool. Next one is another Coldplay album. This was the album cycle that I saw touring 2 years ago in California with my mom when we bought her tickets for her birthday because it's her favorite band. Pressed on really cool ones. Blue, like the La La Land one, but then it's like a bubblegum pink. And I like it, but it's like kind of transparent. That's this one. My favorite songs off this album are Amazing Day and Up and Up, but like I said, all of these songs I have like good memories with my mom because we saw it live and it was like she had the time of her life. The next album is another album that my brother got for me, and that is Beyonce's Lemonade. It's like a neon yellow. The second to last album that I own currently, as of today, is Ed Sheeran's Plus. I have such vivid memories to the songs on this album, and to this day, when me and my friends saw Ed Sheeran tour this album, it was Valentine's Day of 2013. That's one of my favorite concerts that I've gone to still. And now to the last album that I own right now, and it is Blurryface Live. You might have noticed that I don't own Blurryface by 21 Pilots because I'm a fake fan, but I do own Blurryface Live. The story behind this is I owned this album before I even had a record player. I had asked for it for Christmas, and then they limited released this album, and I was like, even if I don't get it, I'll buy myself a record player then for Christmas. 21 Pilots means a lot to me. I have a ton of really good memories tied to them. And so this album means a lot to me, and being able to like relive the live show in the comfort of my own home is fun. So I'm gonna show you this all. You open it up and Tyler starts to talk. So it ends with we're 21 Pilots and so are you, which is what it says in the album cover when you open it up, and it just has really cool pictures throughout. Each of the pressings are each pictures, which I think are really cool. It's very different and I don't have anything like it, and so it makes it even more extra special. This is just the crowd during the show. And then this side is when everyone turns their gun into a fist during Guns for Hands. And then it has Tyler playing the bass in his skeleton jacket. And then on this side it's Tyler with his kimono on, and those were all like very like special things to the Blurryface era. The third one has Josh on it, and it's Josh with his little drumsticks in the air, and then it's Josh face covered playing the drums. So those are all the albums that I have. Thank you for making it this far into the video if you have. I hope you don't think I have the most basic record collection of all time. Not that it matters. It's all the albums that I love. That's it. Good night!